Hi guys, my name is Imran, and in today's tutorial we're going to cover how to integrate Google Maps in React, how to create functionalities like autocomplete, location search. When you drag the marker, then we should be able to get the location, and it should show a marker info box as well on top of the marker. So all of these functionalities will be covered in this video. I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos and tutorials which explain how to integrate Google Maps and React, but none of them actually were successfully able to explain how to use autocomplete, location search, draggable marker, and marker info box. In fact, I watched a video which was for 4 hours, but it still didn't cover all of them. So I thought that since I've already spent so much time in going ahead and integrating this and doing all the research, I would save time for you so that I can get you all of this information all in one video, and that'll be really short. Okay. So as you can see that this is the map that I've already integrated. You've got this marker here, then you have the enter location. So I can do an autofill option. So if I have to search Pune, and let's say I click on this area, you can see map is automatically moved to that location, and you can see that you've got Pune International Airport area, all of that information, and these fields are already filled. So in case if you are creating a project which has a form which has these fields, city, area, state, and address, you can get all of this information in the state, and then you can go ahead and submit that in the form. Okay. And you can also drag the marker. So let's say if I drag it like this, you can see now it's moved. Okay, and it is also showing ahead and it is going ahead and showing this particular address. Okay, so this is what we're going to learn. We'll learn how to go ahead and integrate this map, how to show it. What we will not learn is how to create an API credentials. There's already a separate tutorial for that. I will leave a link down below in the video description, and you'll be able to see that and learn how to get the API key, because all we're going to need is just the API key. Okay. One other problem is that the state of the component whenever it gets changed, then the component gets re-rendered, which means map API is being called several times, because of which sometimes the Google might block your API. You won't be able to use it for that particular day. You will keep getting errors like you've exhausted your number of requests for that particular day. So to avoid that, I will also show you what are things you need to take care of. Okay, because this is one of the challenges that most people face. Okay, so I'll take care of that. So let's begin coding then. Okay. Just before we begin, I have already written a blog on this, step by step, which has got all the codes, so you don't have to really type anything if you don't want to. You have got all the codes available, so I've explained everything step by step. You will also have a completed code available on GitHub, so you can go on GitHub and you can take it, you can install a boilerplate, and then you can follow along with me, or you can directly go onto the link that I'll provide you for GitHub, which will have the completed code for this particular project that we're doing. Okay. Alright, so let's continue. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the NPM modules, which is of course the React Google Maps, React Google Autocomplete. This is for autocomplete location search, and then React Geo Code to get the location out of the latitude and longitude. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is install the boilerplate. In case if you already have a project and you want to just use it in your project, then you can skip this installing this boilerplate part. But if you're just testing and just want to test it how it works, you can actually go ahead and clone this particular repository, React Node boilerplate, so that you can follow along with me. Okay, so let's try that. So I'll click on clone, and I'm going to go onto my terminal. Okay guys, so we'll say git clone, and on this repository I'm cloning that. Okay, it's been cloned. There's just few steps we will take to ensure we clear the cache. So I'll just go over here. Okay, so we need to go to the root directory first. So just copy paste. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to clean the cache into the root directory. Okay, and post this we need to do an npm install so it can install all the dependencies. Okay, and then we need to go to the clients folder and then do the same thing there as well. We need to clear the cache. And we'll clear the cache. And then again, after this, we need to do npm install here as well. Okay, so once we have done that, then we need to install the React Google Maps for Google Maps, then React Google Autocomplete, and React Geo Code npm modules. Okay, so we have to install these three into the clients directory. So you have to make sure you are inside the clients directory. I'm already inside of this directory, so I don't have to change that. So I'll just copy this. Okay, it's still downloading, installing. So I'm just going to pause the video while I test that. Okay guys, so let's paste it here and install it. Okay, so once that is done guys, we just need to open this project into in any of your code editor that you're currently using. So let's go ahead and open this. It's here, Boilerplate. Okay, here it is. Okay guys, so I have opened this particular boilerplate. Okay, this is my clients directory, then source, component, and currently I just have home.js, which doesn't have anything. Okay, so we need to create a component called map.js. So let's just change this to map, rename it to map. It's not giving me an option to change. Let's see. Oh, okay. So just create a new component, let's say map.js. Okay. So map.js. Okay. I'll say import React and component from React. Okay, then components, okay, so let's name it as, in fact I have already written it, so I'll just copy that to save time. Okay, okay, and I'll have to import the, in fact I just have to write component over here. Okay, just one moment. Okay guys, so now we also need to import the with Google Map with script.js and all of this on top. Let's do that. So with Google Map with script.js, info window for info window of the marker, and then marker, all of this information we need to import. Okay, and we also need to import the geocode from React Geocode. Okay, so this is going to help us get the city, state, address, all of that information from the Latin long. Okay, and then we also need to use the API key. Okay, so you can, I'll leave the link for the tutorial to how to get the API key from Google Maps API. Okay, so you can just put your API key over here. Okay, just leave some space. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this whole thing just to save time, otherwise it will take a really long time. Okay, and you also have to use a Geo Code enable debug. If you go on to the React Geo Code npm module, okay, you'll be able to see that you need to follow these steps to be able to use the Geo Code. Okay, so let me explain to you what's happening over here. So I have a constructor method defined over here, inside of which I have props. So per props, since you already must be working on React, you already know this. Then we are initializing the state. We are setting the address, city, area, state to blank right now, to null right now, sorry, an empty string. And then we are creating map position, okay, property, and setting that to this object containing lat long. Okay, all of that's information, because when we import this map into another component, then we will pass the lat and long from there. Okay, then we have marker position, which again will be equal to this value of the map position. Okay, then what we're doing is okay, let's ignore this part. Let me just go down. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, so in the render function, what are we doing? So we are saying constant async map with script.js, which is what we imported on top with script.js from React Google Maps. Okay, and over here we're saying with Google Map again. This is also being imported on top from React Google Maps, and props, and this is Google Maps. Okay, and we're passing this .props.google. This is basically all the syntax that's provided to you by Google Maps on the npm module. If you go to the npm module of Google Maps, so I've just copy pasted from there. Okay, so just if I want to show that to you, I'll just show that to you quickly. Okay, let's see, React Google Maps npm. Okay, so you can see that it has all the documentation of the installation, all of that part. Let's see, installation. Okay, so you can see, okay, you have default center, you have props, all of this information. So I'm just using that. Okay, so this is a default center where the map will be by default. Okay, and then we're saying let map. Okay, and if this .props.center.lat is not defined, okay, is not equal to undefined, then show this, which means once we've got the lat position, center position, only then go ahead and render the map. Okay, and these are just 4 input fields I've created: city, area, state, and address, so that when the position of the map changes, we can fill this information, the city, address, area, all of that information into these input fields to show and display it on the computer screen. Okay, and we are doing async map. Then we are putting Google Maps URI, which is again the information that you will see somewhere here. Okay, I'll just have to search where it is. Here it is. Okay, so you can see Google Maps URL and all of that information. Okay. Then loading element, div style, so all of that syntax, I followed that. Okay, and then finally, otherwise, if we haven't got the lat, then map is equal to just the div and the height. Okay, all right, and then return map. So that's how we've got the map, and then we need to import it. So let's import it into another component. So let's import it into home.js. Okay, so we'll say import map. Let me zoom it from map.js. Okay, All right, and let me close this part. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so inside of this component, I'm just going to go ahead and use this map. Okay, so I've said Google, and we're setting the value to this dot props dot Google. Center is this, height is this, height of the map will be this much, zoom will be this much. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if it's actually working so far. Okay guys, so we were in the clients directory, I think. Yeah, we were in the clients directory, right? So what we need to just need to come out of the clients directory and get into the roots directory and just run npm run dev. Okay, so this is my custom script to run concurrently, which means it'll run the Node.js server as well as the React server together. However, you don't need the anything else right now. We just want to display whatever we've got in a component onto the screen. So let's see how it goes. Okay, all right, great. So that's perfect, guys. We've got the city, we've got the area, state, address, and we've got the map as well. So far we've got the map. So what we need to do is we need to get the marker, we need to get the search box for autocomplete and things like that. Yep, great. Let's see. So I think we should just give it some style. We should not write an inline style, but just for demonstration purposes, I'll just write it margin. Let's put the margin as 50 pixels. Or this. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, this is much better. Great. Okay. Right, guys. So coming back, so what we've done is we've created a map component. Okay. We have imported the. Okay, let me just change this part. Okay, so we have imported the with Google Maps, Google Map with script.js, all of that from the React Google Maps. We have got the geocode, we've got the key, we've got everything set up. We've got the constructor function, we've set the state. We have gone ahead and created these fields for city, area, state, and address. So these input fields have been created. We have got the async map. We're importing this component as map. We are then exporting this component as map, and then we are importing it into a home.js file, which is our main file. Okay, and we are importing it as map. We're passing the center and the height information from here. Okay, so this lat and log information will be available in the state at this point, because this props.center.lat will give me that information. Okay, great. Okay, so the next thing what we need to do is just want to show it to you what's going on over here. Okay, so what we are doing over here, we're saying should component update. So this is the problem I spoke about at the beginning, that if you don't use should component update, then every time the user enters something into the search box, then the state will change and the component will re-render, which means the map element will be re-rendered, which means this API will be called, and then at some point your API can be locked. Okay, so to avoid that, we'll use component should component update. Where's it gone? Here it is. Okay, and then we are checking if this .state.markerPosition.lat is not equal to this .props.center.lat, which means that whatever marker position we had set earlier on top over here, which is actually coming from here. Okay, so whatever props we were passing, if it's changed, only then go ahead and update the component. So it will return true. If it returns true, which means that it should go. It should proceed, basically. Sorry, yeah, the component should get updated if this returns true, if this function returns true. If it returns false, which means the component should not be updated. Okay, again we are checking if this .state.address is next state.address, which means that whatever the state value of address, city, area, and state was earlier. If it is changed, only then go ahead and render the component. Okay, so that's what we're checking over here. All right, perfect then. Great. Now, what are we doing over here? So let me explain that. Okay, so component did mount. Once the component is mounted, what we're really looking forward is to get the address, and only then we will be able to fill all of this information, which you can see currently it's already filled. Okay, so in order to get the because when the component is loaded, all we have passing over here is just the lat and long. Okay, so currently this is for Pune. So we are passing this information, but to retrieve the city, state, address, area, all of this information from lat and long, we're going to use the Geo Code function. Okay, and this is the function we're using from lat and long. It takes the latitude, takes the longitude, which is the same as the center position of the map. Okay, and then then we get the response. And if you just console the response, I'll just show you what you get. Just inspect element. So you can see in the response you've got an object, it has got result, and in the result you have address component, and you have formatted address, which is the entire address, and then you have address component, which has got the city, state, and all of the information. So what we are basically interested in, the first thing is the address. So you can see response.result.zeroth element, which is the first element, formatted address, which is this, is going to get me the address, right? Yep, we got the address. And in the second one, you've got the city. So instead of writing all the codes here, I have created a separate function for these to make it more simpler, for better readability as well. Okay, so we're calling this function to get the city, area, and the state, and we're passing the address array. So address array is equal to response.result.address components. So let's see what we got in address components. So here it is. You can see that this is the address component. You've got an array of the information which contains the city, state, pin code, all of that information. So I'm just passing this array. So let's have a look at this function. So get city gets this particular array, which is address component array, and then we are looping through this array, okay, and checking if the type is present, and if the type is equal to administrative area level 2. So you can see type is equal to administrative area level 2. So let's see. So what are we looking for? We are looking for city, right? Okay, so I should get it somewhere here. Okay. So you can see types is equal to administrative area level 2, which means if this is the case, then that means that this particular item has got the city. Okay. So that's how we're getting the city. So we're getting from the long name. So you can see long name is Pune. Similarly, you have for area, we are checking if it's sublocality level 1, okay, or if it's locality, then that means that it's the area. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you find in this array, you will be able to find it. You can see sublocality and all of that is present. Okay, similarly, you will have get state, administrative area level 1 will be state, and then you have the, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll get the city, state, address, all of that information here. Okay, and once that is done, then we will set these value to the state. Okay, so we'll set the state values of all of this to be the address, area, city, and state. Okay, and otherwise we'll console log the error. All right, perfect. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it on notes. Okay, the reason I'm using this on change over here, because whenever you define any input element without an on change, it is going to throw an error. It is not doing much, but yes, it is required to fill the city state and address inputs over there. Okay, but I have put those things as grayed out, not allowing the user to enter it manually, because if he enters incorrect spelling, then it will be a problem. So these are grayed out. This is just to show that we are actually getting the city, area, state using as address. Okay, so in the next, I don't want this video to be too long, guys. So in the next video, we're going to learn, let's see what we're going to learn. So we will learn autocomplete location search, draggable marker, and marker info box. Okay, so far we've learned how to load the map, how to get the city address, state, etc. from the Latin long, and in the next video we will learn the rest of the thing. Okay guys, see you then. Bye bye.